Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Let's take a look at Limbo 6 Part 2, which is going to be the Pianist, and he's going to be one of the more difficult boss fights that we have had thus far. But I'm going to try my best to go through how I beat him, and also within 12 turns as well, which is how I got full clear, right? But I cannot guarantee that I'm able to showcase this for this video because it took me so many retries. But I'm just gonna go ahead and share like my general thought process and how I attempted this. Okay, but before that, let's take a look at the enemies that we are facing. So we start off against 3 enemies, but whenever one of the ads die, it would be followed up with another one of the extra ads over here. Now we're gonna start off with the ads because they are kind of basic, right? So all the ads, they kind of work the same way with a couple of differences. So the first difference is the buff that they provide to the rest of their allies. So for example, for Etiquette, gives all other allies Star Mirror when the caster enters battle. So this only activates one time, right? But if you kill off this Etiquette, he will then reduce 1 Moxie and increase damage dealt by 50% for all allies for 1 round, and then remove all Star Mirror buffs from all of the allies. So that means there are a couple of ways that you can deal with this particular fight. Number 1, you can try to kill off the ads as fast as possible, or number 2, you can just remove all the buffs that they are providing, and I will show you that in just a little bit as well. So Star Mirror has this effect over here. I think it's not super crucial. And then for the next ally, we have Concierge over here. So the same thing, just that right now the buff is changed to Feral Pack. And as for Staff Etiquette, which is the third ally, there is Verdant Blessing, critical resist plus 15% and damage heal plus 15%. And finally Shield Concierge, there is Rock Tomb, which is a Pokemon skill, damage taken reduction plus 10% and critical defense plus 15% as well. I forgot to mention that they all also have Heated Drumming on all of them, which is when the caster dies, Moxie plus 1 to the ally with the lowest Moxie. But for the most part, killing one of the ads and reducing the Moxie of everyone on their side, it's actually going to effectively cancel any ultimates that they are going to cast, even if their Moxie increases by 1 as well. So do take note that you can just kill off one of them to cancel off any ultimate that the enemies are going to cast. And finally, we have the Silent Pianist over here. So he has 4 passives. So the first is Forget Me Not. When the caster is attacked and his HP drops to below 50%, he will actually recover 50% of his lost HP and enters Vengeance Puppet. Now, what is Vengeance Puppet? Damage bonus plus 30%, leech rate plus 30%, and HP reduces by 15% after the carrier takes any action and he cannot be dispelled. So the thing is, when he enters Vengeance Puppet, he heals a lot of his own HP, but whenever he takes an action, he's actually going to cut his own HP that way. So it's quite important if you're able to sustain through his Vengeance Puppet state and allow him to cut his own HP until he eventually take the last hit, right? So that is generally the rule of thumb for this fight. It's going to be extremely difficult for you to just fully DPS him down, right? Now, as for his second passive, he has Continuous Action 1, which increases AP by 1, which means if he is alone, he's going to attack twice. But if he has 2 other allies, there is going to be a total of 4 actions that are taking divided among 3 enemies, which means he takes lesser turns on average. And that might also be another strategy because his attack here hits for a lot of DPS because of his third passive, Pathetic Sonata. Now, when a round starts, for every buff that he has, he will then gain 1 stack of rhythm. So the more buffs that he has, rhythm included, he will gain even more rhythm stacks. Now, taking 1 single ultimate attack will then dispel all kinds of stat up buffs and positive statuses on himself, which means it's quite important for you to always spam your ultimate because the boss is going to have a lot of buffs, right? The first is going to come from the passive effects over here, and the second kinds of buffs, they are going to come from the other 2 ads over here because each of these 2 ads, they will provide their own kinds of buffs. And this is what Rhythm does. So damage bonus increases by 2% and it stacks indefinitely. So his damage is always going to keep on going up unless you find a way to get rid of all the buffs that he has, either by throwing an ultimate attack or by using another secret strategy, which I'll go through in just a little bit. And now for his final passive here, we have Overture. When there are no allies left, each action would give himself 3 stacks of rhythm. So he'll take 2 action when there are no more allies left, which means he will always gain 6 stacks of rhythm. So you need to get rid of the rhythm stacks by dispelling it. Okay, but before I show you the way that I beat him, which is using this team, right? Let me show you another alternate strategy, which is, I think, probably the way that the game wanted you to beat it in the first place. Okay, so the first strategy is to use X, and what I'm doing right now is I'm resetting until we get this situation where I have this Anode and Cathode, right? What you want to do is to combine them because right now it's no longer a damaging skill. Right now what it does, it actually dispels all kinds of stats up and positive statuses from the target. So we're actually going to use it against the boss, which will effectively remove all kinds of buffs that he has, and he will never gain rhythm stacks so long as he does not have any buffs. But do take note that, like I talked about at the start, right, the other 2 ads that follows up after these 2 ads die, they both have their own buffing skills as well. So please make sure that you remember that. But for the most part, you can use X over here to just straight up strip the buffs like so. And there you go. All his buffs are removed, the boss gets silenced as well, And there are a couple of reasons why this is so important. Number one, yes, the boss is not going to get any more rhythm stacks this way. As you can see, no rhythm stacks, right? But number two, the boss also has this debuffing skill, which if he has at least 2 buffs on himself, this debuffing skill will actually inflict Petrify on the target, which means right now he can spam this skill. It does like almost no damage, but the best part is it will no longer petrify any of my allies. So this is probably like one of the best strat, but of course when Pickles has his banner, he is probably going to be the best way for you to deal with this situation because he's able to spam a lot of buff strips on his AoE attack as well. So I think that is another one big factor that makes Pickles an extremely strong banner choice, but then again that is entirely up to you. But this is just one of the strat. The other strat is whatever that I use. So let's take a look. Now let me just quickly go through all of their stats. These are the resonances on Centurion, and these are the resonances on Beacon, and these are the resonances on Sonato. As you can see, she's only level 5 Rezo. And finally, we have Eagle over here. So the best outcome is that Eagle doesn't have to show up, right? If Eagle has to show up, then the run might fail. But anyway, here are her stats. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Now, like I said, I am not confident that we're gonna get this cleared in one single attempt. It's very, very difficult. But the strategy that I'm employing over here is to use Beacon to spam her ultimate as often as possible with a catch, right? So let me explain what the catch is. So I'm actually re-rolling my cards so that we end up with more of Beacon's skill cards over here. But a couple of things. So number one, take note of the special effect here, which applies to every single ally and enemy, right? Damage taken reduction plus 20% when the caster is in any kind of stats up or positive status, which means having Sonato here is actually a really, really good thing because right now, not only are you having an extra 15% damage mitigation, you also have an additional 20% damage mitigation on top of everything else. So always make sure that you have Sonato's buff at any given time, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to push for Beacon's ultimate as soon as possible so that when the boss is going to use his ultimate, we will silence him immediately, or rather we will seal him immediately so that the boss will lose one action, and at the same time he also loses his ultimate ability for like the next 3 turns. So we're going to spam as much as possible even in this situation. So even though they all have their debuffs, we are actually still going to spam more debuffs just to make sure that Beacon gets her ultimate ASAP. And I guess you guys already kind of know the flow right now. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, reroll whenever we are not able to use Beacon skill, right? So make sure we have our buff up. We can debuff again. I think they removed my Moxie by 1 just now, and we are going to attack. I'm pretty sure this run is going to be a fail because my allies have already lost way too much HP. Because of the silent pianist attack, which hurts a lot. Oh my god, no freaking way, dude! Not the petrified. Okay. The boss is still not going to use his ultimate. That's completely fine. But like I said, this run is going to be scuffed because there is no way that we can get rid of this ultimate skill that he's going to cast because we cannot take him out. Okay, please kill, please kill, please kill. Please kill or we are dead. Okay, nice. We got it. Nice. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to take them out as often as they start using their ultimates. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, now the boss is going to drop his ultimate, and this is when we use Beacon's ultimate, right? Just to seal the boss for 3 turns. And we're just going to keep spamming Beacon's ultimate as much as possible. So we're just going to give all the action points to Beacon. Very cool. And as you can see, the boss lost all of his stacks, right? But you notice that this other ad that came in, he's able to buff the boss, which means the boss is going to get more rhythm stacks. And in this situation, because we lost Sonato, this run is scuffed. This run is done. So there's going to be a lot of RNG over here. A lot of RNG is needed in this fight, you know, to secure a very clean run, which is what I did, and I somehow lucked out on the 12 turns as well. So I'm just going to show you guys one more time. Hopefully it doesn't end that bad. Just always remember the few things, right? Just always have your buffs so that your team is protected. And if you have any kind of healer, that is perfect, right? So you can actually replace Centurion. I don't really use her for much, aside from the one-off chance that I use her for DPS, but most of the time I do not use her for anything at all. So yeah, if any kind of healer at all, that is gonna help you out a lot. Like if you have Dig, just use Dig. Dig is pretty, I guess Dig is pretty decent over here. Okay, please kill, come on. This is too juicy to miss. Yes, nice. Fantastic. Ow. Oh no, Rip, he didn't die! Oh shit! Okay, misplay, huge misplay. Oh my god, and the petrification on Beacon as well. GG. GG. I mean, there is one way they can prevent the ultimate here, which is by killing off this guy, but it's so frustrating, man. Okay, but yeah, this is one way that we can cancel off all the ultimates here, right? We just need to use like any attack at all. Maybe like this, and like this. Let's kill off this guy. That's gonna reduce the moxie of everyone on their lineup, which means we're gonna cancel the ultimate instantly. Right? So no ultimates for everyone. Holy shit, that was close, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is no magic, no any special kind of mechanic. Agents have guns. It's called common sense.
Okay, no petrification, right? Nice. Perfect. Okay, the boss is gonna drop his ultimate, and this is the best time for us to use Beacorn's counter. But before that, we kind of need some debuffs here as well. So
Don't be so furious.
I probably shouldn't have used Centurion's attack right now, right? I should have charged up her Moxie first. Misplay. But it's fine, I think it's fine. Okay, great. Now the boss is below 50% HP, so he's gonna heal himself by 18,000? 19,000. Cool. Ouch. Oh no, the petrification is back. Okay, we need to buff up and spam get beacons out ready again. So I think Centurion's gonna die and Soneto's gonna die and this one is gonna fail, but it's kinda close. Like that is the general rule of thumb. Because right now whenever the boss takes an action, he's gonna cut 15% of his own HP, right? Take a look at this. Yep, he just lost 6,000 HP and he's gonna lose another 5,000 plus. So that is how we eventually take him out. Oh nice, the boss is not gonna be able to use it out because of the seal. Perfect. So we have one more turn. We are kind of dead, man. I mean, we can do this to charge up more, but by doing so, we're not gonna have enough Moxie, right? So we're not gonna have enough Moxie to cast my ultimate on the next round, which means we effectively lost. Yeah, Omega Rip. I mean, it's kind of a given right now. So but that is kind of like the way that this is done. I mean, yeah, like I said, just don't use Centurion, use a more invested healer, and you should be able to outlive this eventually. And probably try to spam your ultimate a little bit more often so that you get rid of all the stacks that the boss has, right? You don't want him to just snowball at the start while you're just waiting for his ultimate to be in play so that you can counter him with Beacon. GG. Okay, so I guess that's it, but just keep retrying and you eventually get the hang of it and you eventually figure out how to win it. I honestly didn't feel like I was gonna do it, but I just somehow, you know, when the stars align, boom, perfection, and we did it. But yeah, so I'm gonna leave it as it is right now. Like I said, the main strat I think is to just use Pickles, so when his banner comes around, that's gonna be like the perfect time for you to summon for Pickles. Just one copy of Pickles, spam his second skill, get rid of all the buffs that the boss has, and yeah, that's it. Very easy boss fight with Pickles at least. Okay, so anyway, if any other questions, feel free to leave down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to thumbs up, really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Reverse 999 content. Now with that said, this has been Derry Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.